The first Bundesliga title in 11 years that we don't see the name of Bayern Munich on the title. The first time. And the reason that happens is because of Xabi Alonso and Florian Wirtz. If people don't know about Florian Wirtz, you're living under a rock. I'm going to say this. Florian Wirtz is the best player in the Bundesliga this season. No doubt. It's not Harry Kane and Bayern Munich. It's Florian Wirtz. And I put a challenge in the internet. Name me 5 midfielders, 5, better than Florian Wirtz because this season, because the importance that he's had, he's been instrumental in this style of play. More than 30 goal involvements. Florian Wirtz. And if Germany's going to win the Euro in 2024, it's with Florian Wirtz being one of the best players, if not the best player on that team with Toni Kroos and Musiala. So, mate, I'm shocked.
Let's just rewind kind of where it came from too, because Florian Wirtz, he's not old, right? Obviously, he's still
20.
Young enough to be categorized exactly as a wonder kid here. But let's also just think about what he went through in terms of the ACL injury, being out of football for like 10 months, 11 months, fighting back, and then somehow being able to fight back not just to your previous level, but beyond that. Obviously, if this kid was 28 or 29, it would have been a little bit tougher to do what he did. The fact that he was as young as he was, but we've seen numerous talents fizzle out after bad injuries like that, and it was devastating for him. And for the team to pick up the slack under Xabi Alonso, I don't think this could have happened under Xabi Alonso or outside or somebody else.
Got you.
Other than a Xabi Alonso is what
only
I'm trying to
Xabi Alonso could do what he did at BAYER Leverkusen in the world. That's what you're saying, right?
But yes, exactly right now, and we're looking because a lot of this was propping up his confidence and getting him back there and faking it until he made it. Not in a bad way, but more so just kind of like doing the things you can control until that rhythm comes back. And my goodness, it came back like right away. But he's taken it to another level. He came on in the 46th minute against Werder Bremen, second half. And he had a hat trick. Hat trick in the last 20 minutes, Alex. Hat trick in the last 20 minutes, Florian Wirtz did. And normally he's the assister, but he's an equal opportunist when it comes to this. So Germany is moving up my list of
top 4
rapidly. Top 4 definitely now at the Euros.
Euro 2024, Germany, France, England, Portugal. That's the top 4.
And they have the ability with Xabi Alonso staying another year, now having Champions League football. This team can be built with depth, with even more depth than what they have, to make a good run, a good stab at a very good showing in the Champions League next season. And beyond that, if they have a good showing, I don't know. Maybe Xabi Alonso doesn't leave. Who knows?
He will.
He probably will.
Well, one thing's for sure. When Xabi Alonso started at BAYER Leverkusen, they were 17th last season. Now,
that's crazy.
This season, 0 defeats in the Bundesliga. 5 matches are still left. 74 goals scored. 19 only conceded. A different style of play.
Amazing.
New players brought in. Grimaldo, Xhaka, Boniface, Hoffman. All understood the job and all understood the philosophy of Xabi Alonso. This could be bold. And you click in this video, you know it's going to be all Leverkusen. And since it's all Leverkusen, since we don't know who the manager of Bayern Munich will be next season, we don't know if it's Zidane, Nagelsmann, Flick. We have no idea. But one thing we know, Xabi Alonso will be there, and he will be ready to do it again with a stronger team. I think Wirtz will stay. I think Grimaldo will stay. Boniface and Frimpong, I think both will go. 40 million release clauses, way too low. But the foundations of this team, they will not leave. And just like Erik ten Hag said, Rome wasn't built in a day. Xabi Alonso goes with the same philosophy, and he's built his foundations in that team. So I do not think that any team in the Bundesliga will be happy to go to BAYER Arena next season. So I wanted to really give this shout out. And a question too, Breton. So Frimpong's release clause is of 40 million this summer. Man United, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Man City are interested. Who do you think is going to get him?
The logical choice for me is bring him home to City. Bring him home to Manchester City. You've got the pool. You've got Kyle Walker likely stepping aside. You've got Rico Lewis that can play other positions. I say bring him home.
And then young defenders, Gvardiol, Frimpong, Rico Lewis.
Yeah,
they're starting to build a core. Yeah. Man City.
It's interesting, but I just need to say this: like, there's 5 games remaining, and the only threat, right now that the title is clinched, the only threat is the threat of the rotated squad losing one of these odds and ends games that no longer really mean anything. But 29 games, Alex, 25 wins, 4 draws, 74 goals scored, 19 goals conceded in those 29 games versus Bayern's 36 goals conceded in the same amount of games. And Alex, as impressive as the stars of this team were, the litany of players that you just went through, most impressive were the guys that allowed them to rotate, period. The fact that he turned Nathan Tella into a functional Bundesliga player, Amin Adli from Toulouse, I believe, or I forget, from Ligue 1. Jonas Hoffman was a phenomenal pickup. You mentioned Robert Andrich, who they brought through. These role players, I think, provided so much more depth than any of us expected to, and there's expected them to, and they're the biggest key, or one of the biggest keys to their success this season, has been somehow keeping Ezekiel Palacios healthy for an entire season. His ability, his work rate, the amount of ground he covers in there, and his chemistry that he has with Xhaka. It has been a massive cornerstone for Leverkusen, and probably the biggest cornerstone for what they can build a team, like you said, an even stronger team next year. I don't think there's a reversion to a mean coming year, right? I think this team has the ability to beat Bayern and smack them again next season, and we'll see. We'll see.
Back to back, Breton. And it's mad. A team that before Xabi Alonso, in their history, they only had 2 titles. Only had 2 titles in their books. And when he leaves next season, if he goes to Real Madrid, who knows? He could leave with 2 Bundesliga titles. And obviously a DFB Pokal that I believe they'll win. Or maybe an Europa League too. That can happen.
Treble?
But you said it. You said my days, European treble in his 2nd season at Bayer Leverkusen. Oh my days.
Crazy.
It's absolutely mad. And deservedly.
What a season.
Xabi Alonso has a road. The road leading to Leverkusen Stadium was renamed by the fans Xabi Alonso Alle, which is the road of Xabi Alonso. So all roads lead to success when Xabi Alonso is the name in front of it. So I love to see that happen, and it was the right choice by the fans to name the road by Xabi Alonso Road, or Avenue in this sense. Avenue,
and just so we update the statistic, it's 43 in a row now. And it's just so impressive what Leverkusen is doing. And the crazier thing for me is, last season we saw Christopher Nkunku and Nicholas Füllkrug win the Golden Boot with 16 goals each or something, right? This season, you've got Harry Kane scoring 32 goals. If you were to look at that statistics, obviously goals don't mean anything or everything, but you would think, okay, Bayern Munich very clearly has some sort of daylight at the top, right? But then you look beyond that. You've got Serhou Guirassy. You've got Lois Openda. Great first season in the Bundesliga for Lois Openda.
True.
Deniz Undav, beyond that. You don't have a Leverkusen striker up there, right? You've got 4 or 5 guys sharing the load and getting it done, and this team is deep because of that. And that is absolutely down to Xabi Alonso. It's absolutely down to Rolf's at the head of it, and the style of play. And it's wonderful to watch. It's refreshing.
Unfortunately, Boniface got injured, and we believe that's the reason why there's not the main guy. And I do think Boniface returning now clinches the Europa League title maybe for Leverkusen. And seeing Liverpool losing 3-0 to Atalanta just makes me more... I have more belief seeing the 3-0 loss at Anfield of Atalanta that Leverkusen are going to win the Europa League title now. They're the favorites. They're the team to beat now with this loss against Atalanta for Liverpool. So, look, European trouble is in the cards. I believe it can happen, but do you believe it will happen? Let us know down below. And which are the transfers that we could see this summer Leverkusen do? Because they are going to invest in replacing the players that we just mentioned, Frimpong and Boniface, that could be leaving.
And a wholehearted congratulations to Bayer Leverkusen, right? Wholehearted congratulations. I mean, they're also one of the most I gotta say generous online to us, right? They've retweeted things, they've messaged us, they've just been so whoever their social admin is, reach out. We want to do something. To help celebrate. But what a season. I mean, we talked about, yeah, you're absolutely right. Victor Boniface, he is the key to unlocking this. But I'm most impressed with when he went down, guys like Patrick Schick, who's also notoriously injured quite a bit, picking it up. It worked out. It's just how much is it good fortune? And how much is it?
Mate. The keys Wirtz. I just say Boniface is very important. Yeah. I'm not going to say anyone's not the key, but Wirtz. And to be fair, the only possible player to replace Kevin De Bruyne and to match immediately the same level for me in the world of football is Florian Wirtz. And if you say that's not the case, well, Jude Bellingham too, obviously, but Jude Bellingham will not leave Real Madrid in the next 5-10 years. Florian Wirtz could leave Bayer Leverkusen. Could leave for a really good penny of 100 to 150 million.